Hey guys, I want to experiment with a new type of Pilgrim content that isn't live commentary or informational essay videos, as not only I need to actually learn a lot of the stuff about the build scene, as it has changed a lot, and I'll admit, Unk is hella washed, both in-game skill and build making. But that's to be expected, as holy crap, are Pilgrim players the biggest geeks on this whole goddamn planet. In a good way, of course. Xander, Z1, Tortu, and LeBlanc, you guys could change the world for good with knowledge like this. But no, you guys sit on your asses all day and make fucking Pilgrim builds. Nah, I'm just joking. I love you guys. Anyways, on to the actual challenge. So, as you probably read the title, it's going to be a fishing challenge. So let's get into the rules. So, for starters, I can only use armor / equipment / weapons from fishing only. Materials obtained from fishing, pickups off the ground like berries, and chests can be used to craft items, potions, or any of the such. Items that cost gold don't count, as well as crafting weapons with fishing materials don't count. Pickaxes are allowed, but they are only used for game progression reasons like Psycho Crab or Old Fart, and getting iron for the first rod. I am absolutely not allowed to use quest progression items unless they are items you can already obtain from fishing, but I'm mainly only allowing golden XP drops as well as mineral drops. Still not going to allow the infinite minerals from fucking volcano quests, obviously. Game breaking glitches aren't allowed, and the end goal? To beat all the bosses in the game. And without further ado, let's get with the first part of Pilgrimmed But I Can Only Fish. So, to start off the early game, my first goal is getting my first fishing rod. So a lot of the early game thus far consists of mining and getting berries off the ground. So obviously the first thing I did was get 10 red and 10 blueberries because they are required for the wooden fishing rod recipe. After that, what I'm going to do is go around the map and look for a treasure chest because they are pretty much the only way I can make gold for this freaking wooden rod recipe. So after making a quick trip to the prairie in Thief King's cave, I got the ores required to make a bronze pickaxe and made my way to the desert searching for chests. While I was at it, I acquired the desert mirror and mined for ores. I got one treasure chest from the desert and decided to go back to the Thief King's cave to grab 2 more treasure chests, and boom, I had enough gold for the fishing rod. So I made my way back to Jared outside of the Elite Knight Guild and grabbed the fishing rod to initiate phase 2 of the early game, fishing. Woohoo. Anyways, I couldn't really start fishing yet as I needed 2 things to fish, bait and a boat. Well, you don't really need a boat to fish, but for some areas I will definitely need a boat to fish, but that's for later. So, time for our first quest of fishing up 5 shrimp. I went to fish behind Taurus as no threat to any enemies spawning nearby. I'll save you guys the time of, watching a person fish, but I must have some godlike luck or something because my first ever treasure chest from fishing, I got the Sea Breeze Amulet, which has some pretty good stats, but its main function is that you lose 1/4 of your damage, and in exchange, you have less detection risk from enemies, and every enemy close to you will increase your fishing luck or mob drop luck, which will be pretty useful when fishing as you can stack rotten divers from fishing. Anyways, time for my next quest of fishing up 5 flounders at the Western Sea. But before we get to that, let me explain some basic fishing mechanics that will be very important for min-maxing our fishing capabilities. You'd be surprised that there are 3 stats that increase certain aspects of fishing. Strength reduces the amount of clicking required to reel fish and increases the chances of fishing up organic matter like rotten divers or mudfish. Dexterity reduces the casting time and increases the chances of getting slippery fish like garden jellyfish. And lastly, intellect reduces the lure time for fish and increases the chances of getting treasure chests. Out of all these stats, intellect is the one that is most important as treasure chests from fishing are one of our main sources of getting gear. Well, kind of, as I can also get armor and accessories that cost gems and scrap from other crafting stations around the map, but either way it still is. So anyways, the next thing I guess I'll talk about are the fishing quests themselves. Fishing quests give you an amount of a specific fish you need to catch at their respective areas. You can skip the current quest using gold, but it increases each time you reset it. For every 5 fishing quests completed, you get to choose 3 of the randomly picked items from this list on the screen, and each time you complete 5 fishing quests, it increases the threshold for getting fish for the fishing quest. So with that in mind, I have a clear goal of what I want to get at this point in the game, which is a weapon. Out of anything in this challenge, a weapon is by far the #1 priority, as you know, you can't beat the game without a weapon. So I'm going to grind fishing quests for gear and, obviously, a weapon. So with that said, we make our way to the big bay to fish up our flounders. While fishing up my flounders, I ran into my first big fight of the playthrough, the singular rotten diver. Instead of despawning it like what any reasonable person would do, I decided to play Ring Around of Rosies with it to maximize Sea Breeze amulet value, which turns out was not as a great idea as I thought, as not only I almost died, I checked my inventory to find out that I didn't even have it equipped. So much for that, I guess. Never mind that, I ended up finishing my second fishing quest and started to head towards the Northern Sea to fish for my 3 garden jellyfish. Remember that boat quest I grabbed earlier? Yeah, it's time to fulfill that quest and get a boat from Sailord. So after making a trip to Stone Surgeon and getting level 4 from the quest, I started to make my way towards the Northern Sea to get my jellyfish. It started off really nice so far until I realized that you could fish up sharks, which was a plentiful surprise at least. Nonetheless, I turned in my jellyfish quest and got another quest for 3 squid, of which I already have, so I turned it in. Now, I have 4 out of the 5 quests required for my first fishing quest rewards. And the last quest to complete is 8 salmon, which is really easy as I can just fish at Big Bay for the whole time. So I continued doing that, and after getting my salmon and completing my quest, I was very delighted to see that one of my first 3 items I could pick from the fishing quest was a weapon, and that weapon was the trident. Honestly, I would prefer getting the swordfish, but oh well, trident it is then. I ended up reforging my trident to legendary and calling it a day. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed the first episode of Pilgrammed But I Can Only Fish, make sure to subscribe and comment down below on what I should do next in the next video and whether or not you enjoyed. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you fellas next time. Goodbye.